Welcome, Spartans, to Mission Debrief. We're playing every mission of the mainline Halo video game series in chronological order, discussing our experiences and sprinkling in a little lore along the way. If you'd like to play along or have your thoughts read on the show, email us at podcastevolved@gmail.com or drop us a tweet at podcastevolved on Twitter. We'll be starting our series on Halo Combat Evolved on the next episode.
Yay!
Yay! Finally!
Yeah, right. The first mission of Halo Combat Evolved is titled Pillar of Autumn. This episode we're debriefing from Halo Reach is called The Pillar of Autumn. Weird. We'll also be talking about Lone Wolf for a little bit as well. By this point, there's no spoiler. I mean, the spoiler cap is off. So nothing we can say if you've been playing along with us. You know, you should be all caught up.
Everybody's dead.
Dang it.
God damn it,
all right,
Krista.
I'm your host. Let's introduce. I'm your host, Colin Perkins, alongside David Arnold
Hello.
and KRYSTA Brown.
Lone Wolf is best wolf.
Is it though?
Yeah, do you guys think that Bungie realized they named the
That was
missions the same?
definitely intentional, especially where the end of this mission leads off of.
Yeah.
Like, leaves us. It's completely intentional.
Yeah, they're smart folks there. So the last mission was the package. We blew up a bunch of coveys in our Scorpion tank, including some more AA guns. We love taking out AA guns. Before we linked up with the remainder of Noble Team at the Oni Sword base. We then caught a ride down to Halsey's super secret lab that's inside a Forerunner ship. We defend the front door, and then Halsey gives us a super important package that we then need to deliver to Captain Keyes on the Pillar of Autumn. This mission, the Pillar of Autumn, how many times have we said that already? We take the super important package to Captain Keyes on the Pillar of Autumn.
Oh my goodness.
It's a lot of Pillar of Autumn.
Woof. That's a lot. And then, of course, you know, there's a lot of Covenant resistance along the way. This is actually... Okay, wait. So the date is August 30th, 2552. It's just a day later after the package. The next day, essentially. And this is a hard mission.
Oh my god, it's so long,
It's
too.
long, and it's hard,
It's a
and
great
you're shooting
mission.
lots of things. Did you guys do co-op again?
No,
No.
No co-op. You guys lone wolfed it.
we did.
Although you did play alongside Emil and Carter. The mission starts off with, you know, the cutscene and Carter's like banged up. I don't know if he's getting shot through the Pelican or what, but he's in rough shape. And then he decides to kind of lead off some Covenant to help you out, and then it's you and Emil on the race to deliver the package, I guess. The music I thought was like pretty upbeat. It changed tone a little bit. I thought it was actually really good, a good score, a good piece for the setting of this last final mission. And then what I did, I tried just to cruise through as fast as possible because I felt like I had the package. I got to get to the Pillar of Autumn. Let's go. So I skipped through a lot of stuff, or as much as possible. Did you guys take your time and kind of take everybody out, or how did you approach it, KRYSTA?
I just like to kill things, so I killed everyone, but I have run this mission before, and you can run through you can run through like 90% of the encounters in this until the very, very end.
Yeah, I ran through... Well, we'll get there, but I ran through as far as there's another cutscene. So I ran through it to that point, and then it got a little harder to run through in the second section.
You gotta be a little sneaky.
Yeah, exactly. David, what was your approach?
I killed most things, but for like the longest time, I never fought. Like, I know you can stay and fight the Scarabs, but I've never actually done that. I always bounce straight through that because it's always like everybody's telling you to get through, run.
Yeah.
So I didn't think you could for the longest time. I think it was on one of these shows. I think KRYSTA was the one saying that she fights them.
Yeah,
Like,
you can get on top
do
of
that?
them and stuff.
And I was like, can you take them down, like destroy them?
No,
Do they have normal Scarab weak points?
no.
Oh, you can.
Oh.
Okay.
They're kind of just set pieces, but you can like glitch the game to climb on top of them. Also, if you want to run through that area on hard mode, you can take one of the trucks.
Wait, what's hard mode?
Just just being difficult. I think is what she means.
Yeah. If you want to
Wait a
make the
minute.
game more difficult for you, you can use a
Gotcha.
truck instead of a mongoose and
Oh, you
move really
can?
slowly.
Oh, funny.
And you can never actually jump the jump at the end. But it's
Oh,
fun.
really?
No.
God, you played this game so much. It's amazing.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just once or twice. All right, so the race. So I hopped on a mongoose and just like took off and it just went through it, and it actually kind of felt good. It felt right because you have this mission, and they've underlined the importance of this, and so taking that approach. Whereas like other missions, you're like if you skip through some stuff, you almost kind of feel bad. You're like, am I missing out on something? But this mission is kind of structured in the way like you can stay and fight, or you can just skip a lot of stuff because that's kind of what you're supposed to be doing anyway.
Yeah.
And then let's see here. Oh, actually, before you start skipping through stuff, I think it's right before you're at that ledge, right, with Emil.
The achievement.
That achievement.
Yeah, you can get the achievement. I tried at one point. I don't remember if I got it.
I've done it.
Have you?
I've done it.
I have the achievement, but it sucks because that elite will always move at the very last second.
It took me so long to do it. So many deaths, and I even one time I did it, and the achievement didn't pop, and I nearly died.
Oh no!
I nearly ruined everything.
Did it pop eventually or not?
Oh no!
I
had to go back and do it again.
Oh no!
Yeah, and it was so annoying. I don't know what it was. I think it was a weird thing where like I landed off him, so it didn't die because it counted as being like a slant. So let's just say like you lost your shield, and then I meleeed him, so it didn't actually do the assassination. And I was just like, oh my god, how did I not get the assassination? But it's a great achievement, but it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, but it is like it's kind of in the spirit of achievements. I feel like it's like here's something weird you can do if you want to spend some time doing it.
But it's one of those things you would do without knowing it's an achievement.
Yeah.
Like who would try and assassinate off a cliff like that where you clearly die on impact?
Well, that achievement became kind of a staple of the game. It's kind of like, have you gotten this achievement or haven't you? It's like something everybody tries to get and eventually gets. It's like a kind of passing. You got to get it.
A rite of passage.
So the achievement itself, if you don't know, is you jump off that initial ledge and you're supposed to aerial assassinate that white elite that's down there, and it's not easy by any means.
It's ridiculous, but anyway, I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad I have it done. But I nearly murdered like my whole family in the process.
I'm sure lots of holes in walls were created by that achievement.
Yeah.
All right, so then where do we go from here? So yeah, I talked about kind of sprinting through. Oh, so I did reach one catching point. So you kind of race through the scarabs and whatnot. It's actually good to know that you can kind of fight them. Disappointing that you can't take them down. But then you reach that roadblock, and at that roadblock, I felt like that was an actual roadblock. But then I kind of got out and then tried to keep sprinting around because I was like determined to run through this section. And the wraith would always get me if I just tried to sprint through the entire thing. So then what you do is right by that roadblock, there's a DMR you can grab. You can actually drive your mongoose around. And then I had to snipe a couple of those jackals that were in the tower right there.
Yeah.
And then I sniped the gunner of the wraith.
Yep.
And then I was able to get around. And there's some suicide grunts right around the corner.
Yeah.
It took me out a couple times. But like in my determination to like speed run this section, I finally ended up getting through it. There's lots of brutes down in there too. So KRYSTA, you stay and fight that whole thing? You clear everybody out? No, there's no respawns, right? Like Halo, there's no respawns, right? In general?
There's respawns. Yeah, no, there's no respawns of characters or
not like
enemies.
Call of Duty.
No.
Yeah.
No, I always go straight for the Wraith, so I take the Wraith over and just kill everyone in the area.
What's your I haven't asked you, what's your strategy on taking over the Wraith?
So what you do is you shoot out the gunner, you EMP the Wraith, you get on the Wraith and you punch. It takes about 3 punches, but you'll kill the driver, and then the Wraith will still be in good enough condition for you to drive.
Oh, okay, so you do take out the gunner. You have to do that at least. Gotcha.
Yeah.
You can't just run up to it.
Oh no, the thing will shoot you down when you're trying to hijack it.
Gotcha.
And you always want to get on the front of the Wraith. It won't work if you're on the back of the Wraith.
Oh yeah, the back is where you can plant your plasma grenade, right?
You can plant your grenade or punch it there, but if you want to take out the guy in the front, you have to punch him in the face.
Because you punch it from behind, it just blows up, doesn't it?
Yeah, it'll just blow
kills
up.
the wraith. Yeah.
I remember coming to Halo, or I played Halo like before I was into Halo, and playing with a friend of mine that was, I don't know, had more experience with Halo, and I remember seeing him on the back of a wraith just punching it. I'm like, what the hell is this game?
just punching
the tank until either he finally got in or it blew up. It was amazing. When is the first? Can you do that? Can you do that in Combat Evolved?
No, you cannot
can't
take
board.
any of... The only Covenant vehicle you can take is Banshees and Ghosts. You can't take Wraiths.
So they add that later.
And
Must
there was
add
never
too.
that boarding animation didn't exist until then.
Yeah, you
Halo
can't
2.
board anything in Halo CE.
That's right. Oh, it's gonna be weird to go back there. I'm excited.
It's going to be amazing.
I know,
It's so
It's
good.
gonna be so good.
So then we get to kind of that like cave crevice thing area, and
Boogers.
we lose another one.
Oh, yeah. That first. Yeah, that's kind of important.
Well, no, the boogers are first. Then we lose another.
Oh,
one.
yeah. Boogers.
Wait, where are the boogers?
There's like
right through the cave.
When you go through the cave, you got like skirmishers, and then you also have a bunch of
Oh yeah,
Bugs.
that's right.
bugs.
The drones and stuff like that, right?
Drones. I knew there was a better word for them.
Yeah.
Even the Yamami or whatever.
Yeah.
they're-
Yama
Okay.
or something.
Yeah, I forgot the
Enemy.
order there, but
Yeah.
yeah, you definitely go through that cave first. So the
Uh,
skirmishers and the enemy, and it's like target practice. Like seeing the drone, I hate seeing drones. It's like, oh, I gotta deal with these guys.
Yeah, I'm the exact same.
Especially trying to run through the mission again. It's like, because they do eventually just overwhelm you if you don't take some of them out. But so I eventually just kind of took it. It's like I had the DMR at that point, and then it's just target practice, headshot, pop, 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 pop. Takes a little patience, but it's actually pretty fun once you get the hang of it.
Yay.
And then yeah, they don't do the yay though.
No.
Unfortunately, we haven't talked about the skulls at all. I mean, it's
I
kind of
mean,
late in the game.
most of the skulls are pretty normal compared to all the other. Like they're just the Telltale Halo skulls. There's not any special ones.
Do you you find them the same way? Like, are
No.
you picking
No,
it?
you start with them.
Well, I know. Oh, okay, but usually in other games, there's like the hidden ones that you pick up.
Yeah, there's
you
no
don't do
hidden
that in this
ones.
at all. Gotcha.
No.
Oh yeah, they don't exist in the actual maps of the game.
The
You
only
can just switch them on or off.
the only hidden things in Halo Reach are the data pads.
That's right. And I don't think I found any of those. Just kind of, and I usually explore a little bit, but I didn't find any. Of
I think
those.
there's 2 in every level or something, except for
Okay.
Lone Wolf.
And they add lore to them too, or is
Yeah.
they just?
Yeah, they're just lore. Yeah.
It's like Halsey's like notes and stuff like that, and scientist notes, and then some of them are elite stuff. So
Nice.
They're
Maybe
interesting.
I'll go look those up on the internets. All right. So then we get through this little cave here, and then we lose Carter. So Carter essentially sacrifices himself. I actually like it's a scarab, right? That pops down.
Yeah.
And it like eyes you up. It essentially kind of like hunches down and like stares right at you, which is pretty cool. And then Carter decides to take it out, sacrifice himself, and I don't know. Did you
Which
guys?
I felt was a little bit unnecessary.
Yeah.
I feel like he didn't have to do that. I mean, they definitely could have figured another way past it without him crashing the Pelican into it, which was cool. But like, come on, guys.
well, he was already on a Pelican that he probably wouldn't survive the landing on anyway, because it was damaged.
But- Yeah, I guess.
Might as well make it into a missile.
Yeah. He I don't know, what did you guys think of Carter in general, like as a character? I guess it's a good time to talk about him. David,
Carter's
what'd you
pretty
think about-
boring.
Yeah, he's kind of ho-hum. Like, he was the Leonardo character, but I felt like Leonardo's way cooler than Carter.
He's very Captain America,
Yeah.
good boy, straight-laced, you know what I mean, very
Mhm.
serious. I felt a good commander, all in all, but he seemed to have, like, noble team under his command fairly, fairly well, even though he got, like, whatever, Emil is kind of, like, maybe the most out there guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, I liked him, but I didn't really feel a lot for him.
Yeah, it felt like he had the respect
know
of
what I
his team. Like, they knew he was in charge, and he made good decisions and all that sort of stuff. He's, like, listening to Kat, he was collaborative, too,
Yeah.
He listened to what other people say, but there wasn't. They kind of failed to capture that emotional tie-in to, like, he sacrificed himself. That sucks. Our leader is dead. Obviously, it sucks that another Spartan's gone, but like, he's just not super memorable. Like, I forgot Carter existed until I played this game again. Let's see here. So then what do we do? Then we kind of crawl around the mountainside a little bit more, right? Oh, did you guys notice when you're doing that, there's like some structures off in the distance? I don't know if you took a second to look at those. They almost look like kind of like tanks or like Mac guns off on the side. Did you guys notice those?
No, I didn't see them.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure.
I mean, it's just that, Bungie does great. What do they call them? Skyboxes and whatnot. So it was kind of tied into that.
Yeah.
To that.
Well, I'm sure that the shipyard they're trying to get to has defenses around it. That's why like the Pillar of Autumn wasn't like totally destroyed by the time you got there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there is like cannon fire even coming from the Pillar of Autumn. When you get closer to it, you can see its defenses are active.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. So then we get to the shipyard, and you can see the Pillar of Autumn in the background. It's kind of cool.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool moment.
It is super cool. And then you at the same time, once you start heading down that little ridge, you realize how far away it is.
Yeah.
And there's a
and I
lot
think
of bad
Keys
guys.
talks to you at this stage. I'm not sure.
Yep, he pops on.
I think, yeah.
He's like,
which
hey,
is
how's
a cool
it going?
moment. You got that same actor back or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It is Keys.
Yep, it's the same voice. Yep, that
I
felt
love
good. Yeah, he essentially says, like, hurry up. We're going to leave soon.
Yeah.
And then I tried to sprint through this area. Again, maybe I should try to take my time, but I ended up finding a Spartan laser. Did you guys find that at all?
Yeah,
there's so
a
many
bunch
weapons
of
here.
weapons.
Okay, I wasn't sure if
I
that was
love-
like
this
the
is-
one Spartan laser in the area, but I was like,
This
oh,
is
hello.
the invasion map, KRYSTA, isn't it? Which was a cool mode in Reach where like you fought
It's one of
against Elite Covenant up to a certain point, and then you pushed them back,
Yeah.
and then the map opened and opened further. I always remember that map for that invasion mode, which is a great mode in Reach. I liked that about Reach's multiplayer. There was Spartans versus Elites and stuff. That this mode in particular, it was really cool.
I liked it
but
on I liked
this.
the Spire level better than I liked Boneyard in
Yeah.
Invasion.
Maybe this is Boneyard. Is Boneyard this mission? Probably is because it's a shipyard. Yeah. So I think I didn't really realize it till a very long time that that's a ship you're fighting through. You go in one side of it and out the other side. It's like in amber clad. It's that class of like a frigate.
Okay.
Like if you as soon as you come out of that cave, and if you look, you can see it's an actual ship that's just been taken apart. That's where you actually go
Gotcha.
through one side of it. But like going into that, like there's a Spartan laser in there, and there's a sniper rifle, and there's loads of weapons, like grenade launchers and all sorts of weapons and stuff around here, which is pretty cool. So it's a cool moment fighting your way inside the shipyard.
Yeah.
I like that.
Speaking of Spartan laser, I don't know if we've seen it before. I don't remember talking about it. Have you guys ever done lore on the Spartan laser? Do you remember any details about like why that thing exists? It's a weird weapon because it takes a long time to charge up.
It's
So, like,
basically like a handheld Mac cannon.
Oh, okay.
I don't think we've ever did it in a specific armory section on it. We may have, KRYSTA, because I think we talked about how many Spartan lasers KRYSTA could buy at one stage.
Yeah, that was
It's one of the most
way
expensive
in the
weapons, wasn't it?
beginning.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it is.
Yeah. I want to say Reach's Spartan laser has the 5 shot, or is that Halo 3? Maybe that's Halo 3 has 5 shots and Reach's 4, because I think it goes
I had
25%
4.
every
Yeah,
time
it's
you shoot.
25
Yeah,
for-
okay.
So I could have taken out. So you eventually get to some hunters. I could have taken them both out. I think it may have had better aim, but I was only able to take one out. Then there's ghosts down here. Like this. It's just crazy. This whole mission is like they throw a ton of Covenant.
There's like a million elites too.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, they gave you
crazy.
everything in the game is in this mission.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I didn't look it up, but I'm sure the high score, like whatever it is pretty nuts in this one. And then the part time is probably pretty long too. I can't imagine it's like the normal 20 minutes. Like this does take a while to get through.
Oh, it's such a long mission. Like I was playing it earlier. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm not even halfway through.
Right. Yeah. On legendary, oof.
Oh,
Thank
on
you.
legendary. Oh my god. On a
Did you
lasso.
talk about
This
that?
is a hard
Did you say it was
mission
like
on
6
Legendary.
hours or something like that on legendary. Or
That's
lasso?
when I did. Yeah, legendary all skulls on. It was about 6 hours for us to get through.
Oh god.
That's awful, KRYSTA.
That's
Well, the
painful.
thing you have the nice thing that Reach has, it has the checkpoint system that if you just stay idle for long enough, it'll checkpoint. So what you
Oh,
basically have to do is kill something, run back to where there's no enemies,
Wait
wait
for
for
a
a checkpoint, and then just keep going.
Oh, brutal.
I know I'm kind of skipping ahead, but that very last room when you're trying to get up to the cannon with like the 5 elite zealots in it,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
yeah.
They are on a legendary All Skulls On. They're basically invincible. So what we ended up doing is one person would go to it's the little room like right when you enter the door with with them in it. It's like right to the left. It's like a little loop. There's like a big pillar in the middle. So one of us would run around the pillar, and the other one would assassinate one. And then we'd run back out and wait for a checkpoint. And then we just do that over and over and over and over again to get them.
So you can assassinate them with all.
You can. So an assassination is still an instant kill, so you don't have to go through double shields, double health, and all that crap, because they're basically invincible at that point. Yeah, so we had to lure them in and assassinate every single one of them. It took forever.
Let's see here. So you still have Emil with you at this point. One of the Emil moments that I liked is when he's starting to pick off Covenant, and I forget if he did it earlier in the mission, but he says, "That's for Cat. That's for Cat. That was for Cat." So that was kind of cool to hear him say that.
That's like in the firefight. That's when I heard it was in the firefight before Keys comes down.
Yep, exactly. So yeah, we make it through, and so that's interesting to know that that's a ship because you're like going upstairs, and it almost feels like. Well, it feels like there's like these big vats, like molten vats. So is
of
that
lava.
Part of the ship too?
Yep.
Is it lava?
It is. You can jump in and you'll die.
They're just keeping lava hot, just in case.
Well, it's a shipyard, so I imagine they're melting, stripping down things.
Yeah.
It's molten something or other.
I think at one point through here, I grabbed what are they called? The swords. I'm forgetting the name of them.
Energy swords?
Yeah, the energy swords. Thank you.
How did you forget the name of the energy sword?
Because
Colin.
Yeah,
you're the worst, Colin.
I'm the worst host. That's why. The sword that's bright, and we have a letter opener from it. So.
I love that letter opener.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, it's true.
I don't use that much, but I have it right here. It's great. All right, so we get up, and then we, fight through the rest of the Covenant, head through a couple doors, and then we finally get to kind of the last stand spot, and that's a long little spot. If you're trying to, it felt long for me because I was trying to speed run. I was like, oh geez, I kept dropping off more brutes and whatnot. So that's no joke and they actually rush you too. That's the other thing. Yeah. You can't just sit back. And there's plenty of ammo around there. Like I found DMRs and grenade launchers and sniper rifles and all that. Like there's plenty there. There's a couple of health packs, but they do not just let you sit back and snipe. I mean, maybe there's a spot. Is there a spot, KRYSTA, that you can sit back and just poke at them, or do you have to? You kind of
have to. You kind of have to move a lot.
Yeah.
At that last firefight. You have to move. There's a bunch of buildings, and there's an underneath area, and you just kind of have to run around and just avoid the fire to get your shields back up, and then turn around and try to pop them. Mm-hmm. Click-clack them.
Did you guys use shotguns at this point? I feel like it might be a good shotgun point.
I use anything and everything.
Yeah, brutes are really good with shotguns. You guys know about the secret ammo box, right?
No.
No? Go on.
Guys are such noobs. Oh, my God. Jesus Christ.
Whatever, KRYSTA.
Oh, Jesus.
She hangs up. She's done.
So you know the bigger building with like the sniper at the top, the sniper nest?
Yeah.
Behind that building, if you hit a wall at a certain point, an ammo box will just pop out with like 5 DMRs in it.
Whoa.
Oh.
So that is needed if you're doing it on Legendary.
So it doesn't animate until you bump into it?
You hit the wall and then just an ammo box magically
you just punch it?
Yeah, you punch the wall and then an ammo box just like pops out of it. It's amazing.
That's great.
It's great. It's really good.
And Bungie must know. They must have designed it that way, I guess.
Yeah, a little Easter egg, I guess.
That's fun. Give you a chance.
Yeah, someone's like, this level's too hard. I'm gonna add this and not tell anyone.
Mm-hmm.
That'll fix everything.
So we clear out everybody eventually, and then Captain Keyes, you see him flying in the distance.
It's so cool to see him.
Yeah, and so at that point you actually give him the package, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
and I know last episode we were talking about like why Cortana was in the thing. If you look at the very first cutscene in this, it is literally just the chip and just this casing around it.
I copped that as well. When you actually get a good look at it. you can actually see it's her chip inside the case.
Oh, it is. Okay, so they thought
Yeah.
that then. So the case is just to kind of protect it during
Pretty
battle.
much, yeah.
Gotcha.
Or probably just to fit on that specific location for Spartan armor. I guess not that great because it seemed to be.
Maybe it's like an
Made for it,
interface
I
with the
guess.
ship or something. It's like a bigger interface for her. Who
Oh.
knows?
Yeah. Maybe it fits into the pillar that she jumps out of or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Hey, spoilers! Don't give it away.
Spoilers.
Yeah, the pillar she jumps out of is really specific there, guys.
Yeah.
It'll be a cool moment when we experience it soon. Anyway, all right. So you give him the package, and is it at this point where you get to see something cool, or is it?
No,
after?
it's at the
Okay,
very
later.
end, yeah.
Okay, all right. So we'll get there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then you get the package, and then you see Emil get murdered.
Yeah, which is just great. He just gets click clack.
He's a pretty cool death sequence though. To be fair.
Yeah,
He
does.
takes out 2 elite zealots.
You know, it felt like you were going to actually join them on the pillar, but then Emil gets taken out. So, but yeah, that's a fun animation. I almost felt like they would show him, just defend them off and survive, but nope, they took him out. So now we're the
That's so
only
cool.
noble team member left, right?
Yep. Well, except for June. He's
Oh,
with
that's right,
Halsey.
June. Yeah, we didn't talk
Yeah.
about that. June does go off. That's right.
He ditches us and then shows up in a book like 5 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like a suit at that point, I think, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a recruiter. Yeah, he's like semi-retired or whatever.
Yeah. So that's fun. Those are fun tie-ins. That again, if you're with us for the first time playing through this, like Halo does a good job. They kill off a lot of characters, but they also do kind of sprinkle along in extended lore. They keep some people around, and they make appearances later, which is fun. So then we essentially have to go up and replace Emil and defend the Pelican that the package in Captain Keyes is on to get it to the Pillar of Autumn, and that's. I think I died a few times in that. I was playing on heroic again.
It's a hard sequence
You
to
know,
play on the higher
what
difficulties.
makes it way easier? You don't get in the gun, and you just wait for Keyes to say, fire now, and then you jump in the gun and just hit the Corvette.
No, really.
That's all you have to do.
Wait it
You-
out.
Damn it,
Yes,
KRYSTA.
you don't even have to get into the gun. You get into the gun
That
right
makes
when he
so
says to
much
hit the
sense.
Corvette, and you hit the Corvette and you're done.
Oh man! And then, well, as you already talked about, like having to fight your way up there. So there's a elite force that you got to get through to get up there. So
And
it's
there's
like,
a
it's
field
like,
marshal. If you notice, though, it's the one with the plasma cannon. And if you get too close to him, he pulls out his energy sword, which is super cool.
oh nice.
So that's the
Yeah, he
highest
does.
ranking elite is the field marshal. The others are
They-
zealots.
They make you feel like you finished the game, right? And then you're like, oh, okay, well, this is the easy part where I just got to go up and do the gun.
It
But no,
sucks on
it's not
heroic.
easy.
Yeah, you either have to really know the pattern of where the phantoms come
The
from,
spawns.
or you just
Yeah.
wait it out, which is the easiest way to do it.
Well, I'm saying like just to make it up to the gun, like there's all those elite zealots, and then like you said, the field general, like to get up there.
Oh, plasma pistol. And thing to the face.
Yeah. I know, good combo. But anyway, they give you some resistance to get up there. But
They do.
That's good to know, I guess, that you can just wait it out.
It does ruin the fun of that final moment, but
Mhm.
also it's a pretty brutal moment because you die really fast in that gun.
Yeah, I mean it's fun to shoot that gun. It feels really powerful. Let's see. I think I put it in my notes somewhere. What do they call it?
It's a Mac.
It's a
It's
gauze.
a Mac something.
It's either a gauze or a Mac. But gauzes and Macs are the same technology.
It's definitely a Mac.
Yeah.
Because when you walk up to get into it, it says get into Mac cannon.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Well, there
So-
you go. So that's one of the things that's like the technology that UNSC has at the time to actually defend themselves. And you get to fire one yourself, which is fun. So now, essentially, the Pelican makes its way up into the Pillar of Autumn. You see it dock, and then if you're paying attention and you're just kind of futzing around with the controls, you get to turn to the right, and you get to see.
You can see Master
You get
Chief.
to see Master Chief.
He's in his
You see-
cryo tube.
Well, this
taking
time
a
it's an
nap.
unnamed Spartan in the container.
Well, there was only 2 Spartan-2s on the Pillar of Autumn at that point, so...
Oh, that's
It
right.
was confirmed by a member of Bungie that was Spartan. That was Master Chief.
Okay.
Specifically when you're looking at.
So it's not.
But, yeah.
It's not Linda. Was the other one?
It's not Linda.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they oh, that's right. Yeah, because they go back in orbit and then some book stuff happens, right?
Yes.
Yes.
But they never mention Master Chief by name in this game.
No, they do not.
They just show him a little bit and you get excited.
There's also in the next mission, Lone Wolf. There's a hidden statue of him as well. If you break through the map in theater mode.
Oh,
Oh
cool.
my God.
Why would he have a statue for himself already on Reach?
It was a
weird.
Bungie thing.
Yeah, okay, fair
Like a
enough.
farewell.
Yeah, it was like, hey, look, there he is.
There he is. Check him out.
He's not in this game, but you can look at him.
All right, so then essentially, so you think you're done, but you're not done. The Lone Wolf. I'm forgetting
You
how
forgot the credit sequence, man. The credit sequence is first.
the credit sequence is. Oh, it is first. That's right.
Yeah,
Talk me
the
through this
best
credit
friggin'
sequence.
part of the game. So the Pillar of Autumn takes off, and then you'll see, if you've played Halo CE, you'll see a very familiar cutscene.
Before they do that, though, how it takes off, I thought was really fucking cool.
Yeah, there's
With
like
all the
little
booster rockets,
thruster boosters.
like boosting it up, and then they're like disposable. They fall off as it gets higher into the atmosphere. I thought that was really cool.
I would imagine that's how they have to do it, because the big boosters on Pillar of Autumn aren't able to make really quick turns
Yeah,
like
I think
that.
most of those ships are like built outside of in space.
Mhm.
Like they can't come into the atmosphere. So I guess smaller ships like the Pillar of Autumn could.
Wasn't the Pillar of Autumn built on Reach though?
I don't. It was retrofitted
Okay.
for the specific mission. I think mission Red Flag, or the one that the Spartans were supposed to be sent on to capture our prophet.
Yes.
That I want to say that was Red Flag, but it could have been called something else. But that's what Pillar of Autumn was doing there in the first place, being fitted up for this to get Cortana and Chief ready to go on this mission
okay.
with the other Spartans.
And then instead
all
they
in Halo Reach
make
book.
a random jump and land in
Mhm.
at the very beginning of Halo CE, which is so good. Even the dialogue's exactly the same, and like the way it pans around the Pillar of Autumn. And then it you pan to the back of Pillar of Autumn, and you get to see where it's headed. And there is a beautiful, beautiful orange planet with a halo around it.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then
that's
you get a
cool.
nice note from Bungie that is like, hey, Halo's a pretty cool game, yeah? We should play more of it. Go play some
You
more.
like the Halos?
You like the Halos? We made them. Love you
We
guys.
did
Stay tuned for your destiny.
Why'd you say
Is-
that?
Is there?
That's true.
There's not a Destiny Easter egg in this game, isn't it?
It's an ODST.
ODST.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
It has the like plant. It has like pictures of the
Traveler.
Traveler, and it's like
That's right.
something about Destiny on it. It's pretty cool,
That's right.
Yeah.
especially since how long it took for the game to come out after the
Oh, God.
teasers.
Yeah. Exactly. All right. So set me straight now. So we see the credits, and then we got to do some Lone Wolf, right?
Yeah. Then you go back to Noble 6.
And I guess you're still playing at that point. So if you gotta either because you can skip the credits, right?
Yeah.
So you can skip the credits, and then you have more shooting to do. It's you as Noble 6, and it's essentially like a desolate version of Reach, with a bunch of dust and some
Well,
Covenant.
it's in the process of being glassed.
That's right. And do you is there a high score mode on this? 'Cause essentially, you just need to shoot a bunch. You can just die right away and end the game and see the last cutscene, or you can.
I think the mission's timed, so eventually it just will bring you to the cutscene if you don't die.
Oh well, gotcha.
Yeah, it'll just boot you out.
Does it definitely do that? Someone else said it to me as well, and I wasn't sure. I thought you had to die,
No.
as in like, it just eventually gets to the point where it's impossible to not die.
No, I'm pretty sure that
No?
eventually it'll just bring you
Just
to the
timed out.
cutscene. Yeah.
That makes sense.
All right, cool.
Because
That
then,
would
then some idiot would still be playing it like weeks and weeks and weeks.
Yeah, right. Setting a high score all the
True.
time. I do like how the
True.
your helmet cracks and you kind of see those pop up on
Yeah.
the screen and whatnot.
It's
and
so
then-
strange, though. It feels really weird when
It
that happens.
It freaked me out when I first played it because I didn't know what was happening, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And like, I did not survive very long at all. But I was like, "This is fucking." It was great. I wasn't ready for it. I was like, "Oh my god, this is really cool." trippy.
Did you at any point
crazy
think
moment.
you could survive? Or like, I mean,
I really did. I thought I did for so long.
Yeah.
I thought I was getting the bad ending or whatever. Like,
yeah, I kind of felt the same way too. I mean, they do a good job of like, oh, maybe I can get off this. Maybe
Well, I
I
mean,
can
it
get
just
off
says
Reach.
it
There's a
just
little
says
epilogue here.
survive, so it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
yeah,
maybe I can win this, but no.
Mm-hmm. No, you cannot, and you get essentially brutally murdered eventually
Yep.
by the elites. And it's hard to call it a murder,
Yeah.
but you do not survive, although it wanted you to. Good try. And then we get a little monologue from Halsey. So we see the same. So this is kind of you see the helmet at the beginning of the game, right? And then you see your helmet at the very end. So it's a nice little bookend.
Yeah.
And then Halsey goes off on a little monologue, and like hearing it again, the first time I thought it was kind of cool. Again, this is kind of when I was starting to get into Halo. I was like, "Ooh, that's kind of cool." But like the second time, I wasn't really into what she said. It just kind of fell flat for me.
I feel like if it stopped at the part where she says you were able, because of your actions, we were able to find Halo and defeat the Covenant and stuff like that, it would be fine. But then she goes on to talk about Reach and stuff, and it's like, okay, Halsey, wrap it up. I got stuff to do. I have a podcast to record.
Play some multiplayer. Come on. And then, well, they fast forward. So this is August. They almost fast forward like a year, essentially, and they're saying that Reach is still there, or there's still a presence on Reach.
They've taken it back.
Yeah.
Essentially. Which is kind of cool. And then there's some books to read in between there.
Just a couple.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot going on.
A lot of things happening.
Another point, when you see Noble Six get killed by all these elites, the last elite you see is holding the energy sword in his left hand.
Oh.
Okay.
Where it's just like an elite walks up and then you see the energy sword and it cuts to black.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. There's only five.
It's supposed
There's
to be
only
the Arbiter?
there's only 5 elites that hold it. It's Ratus Vadum, Theo Vadam, and then a couple, just elites that don't really matter. But the only 2 named elites that hold their energy sword in their left hand is Ratus Vadum and Theo Vadam.
Gotcha.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
That's a deep cut right there.
That is a
Dang.
real
Yeah.
deep cut, but yeah. So either
Remember that name.
Mr. Missing Mandibles and the Arbiter, if you
Mhm.
don't know the names.
Interesting.
So that's
That's a
kind of
good
a
deep
fun
cut. That's
lore
right.
tidbit.
I like that. We'll name that person that elite again.
Lefty.
Good old Lefty. Good old half
Lefty
face.
killed you.
Half jaw.
Half jaw.
Mhm. And then there's no legendary ending. Is that right? Then, because in moving forward, there's always a legendary, like a little snippet. But I did a quick search on the internets today, and I didn't see any. It
Yeah,
seemed like there wasn't any.
I don't think
legendariness.
there is. No.
There was supposed to be on the legendary ending, like an eagle comes down and lands on your helmet, and it got cut from the game.
Gotcha.
That's about
Too
the
cheesy.
only thing I don't-
America.
America,
Yeah.
exactly.
I don't think there's anything specific.
So I did a quick poll on our Facebook group today, and just asked the simple question: is this the saddest Halo campaign? And according to our community, it is not. There are more
Halo
sad.
4 is the saddest.
A lot of sadness.
I think
happens.
Halo 4 is sad.
Yeah, and again, we were not going to get into details, but so this is dire. This is bad. There's a little glimmer of hope, but there's more sadness ahead.
I feel like the reason that it isn't the saddest is because you don't get as emotionally attached to the characters like we get with, the main cast of Halo characters, and when bad stuff happens to the main cast that we've known for, 3-4
Mm-hmm.
games. It's a bit more emotionally impactful than Halo Reach, where it's like, Mission 1, hey, here's the guys. By the last mission, oh, everyone's dead.
Everybody's gone.
What happened, guys? What happened?
Right.
Plus, at the end of this, you know where it goes. Do you know what I mean? So you know that it's a passing of the torch kind of story, that it isn't really about them. It's just that they're setting up what happens next.
If you know anything, people who knew anything about Halo Reach, or just the planet Reach in general, coming into this game, you know that things are not going to end up well.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think for people who maybe didn't know the events on Reach, this was probably a bit more impactful for them, but coming in as someone who's already read the book and knows that, hey, planet gets fucked, yo, So
Yeah.
The end.
the end.
So what are your overall take? Like, I don't know. It's a weird thing to kind of rank them at this point, so we're not going to do that. But,
Number one.
Yeah, exactly. This is
Number
the best
one, Halo
so
Reach.
One
far.
of one.
One of one.
But one of the things I noticed playing again is they did do a little bump because this game originally came out on 360. They did make it look better for Xbox One, and I forget if it's enhanced for X.
It's not.
It's not yet.
Definitely not.
But it does look
no.
better. Like, I felt like they did
I'm-
clean some things up, and it looks. I mean, it's a really good looking 360 game.
The frame rate or something is like super choppy for me though, for some reason.
Yeah, I'm finding somewhat like I'm playing on an X on a 4K TV,
Yeah,
and
so
I
am I.
don't think it looks great. So like I'm thinking it probably is a great looking 360 game, but it just doesn't really stand up compared to like the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, it just runs weird for whatever reason, and I haven't had any problems with any of the other. Like I'm playing right now. I'm playing the original Morrowind for the original Xbox, and that frame rate is more consistent than Halo Reach on 360.
Oh damn!
So-
I didn't run into any problems. I played on X too, so I don't know. I guess I noticed maybe a couple stutters here and there, but nothing too bad.
It just feels very swimmy, like you're not moving as fast as you want to. And I was messing around with it for hours trying to figure it out. Changing the settings on the controller and stuff. But
So playing it on 360 was the better experience for you, is what you're saying?
yes, yeah.
Interesting. So they tried, and they did a good job for the most part. I mean, I didn't really notice it as well, but I'm sure if you've played a million hours like KRYSTA, then you'd probably pick
Oh
up on
God, yeah. Please help.
Send more video games. Yeah, so do we want to how do we want to recap this, I guess? In my mind, I felt like it was good. It's weird coming back to it now, because I had meant to do a legendary run. I've got like a couple missions in, a few years back, and I meant to go back, but like playing this again on heroic is like, ugh, this is gonna be rough on legendary. I don't want to do this. It's the only game that I haven't beat all the way through on legendary. So
I'll do a co-op with you, and that might make it easier. But it's a
has to
tough
be
enough game to
solo.
be solo.
Has to be so.
Has to be solo. I'm sorry, I'm out.
okay, well, thanks for that.
You won't get the achievement if you don't play it solo.
That's true. No, I'll probably do it one day.
Just noob tube everything.
Yeah, yep. You have to on legendary.
Yeah, you do.
Overall, how do you feel about this, David? So just say we're entering into the you guys are the lore experts. We're entering into Halo. How does this game do from like a hey, here's our universe, enjoy?
It's weird because I think we kind of said it. I think it's like the last second last, third last mission is where it actually starts to matter in terms of the greater Halo universe, because everything there is build up. I mean, it's really about Halsey, Cortana, getting them to the Autumn and getting them off planet to set up the actual universe.
Because they talk about that early on.
All the other characters are dead, and they never appear again, or even are ever referenced again in the Halo universe, anywhere. Do you know what I mean? So, in that way, it's kind of unfortunate. It's other than the only other character that comes out of this that makes any impact is June.
Yep.
But you have to read a book to even get that story.
True.
Well, Halsey's in this. So they talk about Halsey. They show
exactly
Cortana.
which that's kind of where this is the first appearance of Halsey in a Halo game.
Yes.
And it's like one of
yeah.
And it's so far into the kind of the
release
real world
development,
Halo timeline release exactly. So I mean that's very significant, is to see Halsey.
But if you're a first time player, you're not going to understand any of this.
No, which I think is weird, because the impact that Halsey has, how big a character she is cannot be really understated. But she is not a big character in this game necessarily. You wouldn't think she is coming out of this game if this is all you'd played. You're like, okay, she makes some stuff, she bosses people around, and now she's gone. Then that's kind of it.
I feel like the only way you can make this game really meaningful is if you've played the other Halo games. This is almost a Halo game that is for people who've played all the games.
Yeah.
So if you're
if
you're playing a Halo for the first time, I would start you with CE. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
it's good as a prequel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked doing this series in terms of okay, we're going to do it in chronological order. That was just a decision to make, and that made sense. But in terms of playing the games for the first time, I would never recommend Reach as a starting off point for Halo. Like that, I would start people on CE and say go 2, 3, ODST, 4, come back.
In general, like I feel as most media, that's the better way to go is the release schedule.
Yes.
It's fun to go back and like, when they do flashback stuff, it's fun to go back and kind of see that history stuff, I guess before, but yeah, in general, I would definitely recommend that as well. Plus you get used to certain mechanics along the way, and it's that too, it's going to be hard to go back now to Halo CE because we're used to armor abilities and a lot of other stuff that gets taken away.
But comparing this to like another game franchise, like you would now never tell someone to play BioShock Infinite before BioShock. It doesn't make any sense. Like you're not gonna get the same impact as you would playing the original game and then playing the prequel game.
Yep,
that's right.
That's a good point. Right. I guess that's
so. Anyway,
it. Any last thoughts? Anything else to add?
I do really like this game. I do like the story, the setting. I always thought it was interesting knowing that like it was a weird way to tell a story. That this planet's screwed, but the game is about trying to save the planet. But you're never going to. That you don't win. The win is essentially getting the package off and seeing that off, which is interesting. I didn't think that that's where the game would go. That it would directly tie in to Halo CE and set it up. So I found that very rewarding. Like the credit scene.
That's the big payoff of this. Yeah,
because I think at the time, let's say Halo Anniversary wasn't around, so like getting to see the Pillar of Autumn look amazing coming into like the just to see the ring in the foreground, and as just the Pillar of Autumn in the same camera frame, like Chris said, like the same camera framing as the intro of the first game was amazing. I really loved that moment. And that sent shivers on my spine. And then Halo CE came out.
Oh yes, CEA
Anniversary came out after that,
which was a great move on. I'm not even sure if it was 343, but
it was.
Okay, 343.
343 did.
That was a good
did
call.
Anniversary,
especially with them because they had a map pack for Halo Reach and everything, so you got to play some of the classic game modes with the updated graphics and. Oh, just as funny side note, I was playing with Nick today. Earlier on while I was waiting for this, and we got into Reach, and I had never, because all that DLC is free, so I'd never gotten it before, so I've gotten it now, and I played Installation 04 on Firefight, and it was goddamn so
good.
Much fun, right?
It was such an amazing
really good
map. I love that moment. But anyway, I liked this campaign, I liked this story, I liked this game. Didn't blow me away, and
is it more of like a gameplay standpoint? Like, because you said like there's that emotional connection with the Spartans along the way, but
it's a fairly controversial game in terms of like where it sits in terms of like Halo lore enthusiasts, like people that love the games. Halo Reach is a weird place, in terms of like
there's
how Firefight works and different modes.
Yeah, like it's almost an outlier from the main Halo games. Like even Halo 3 ODST is more in the mix than Halo Reach. I feel like Halo Reach is such an outlier.
Yeah, that's a good point. Anything else to add, Chris? I had one other thing. Let's see. Because we were talking about Halsey kind of being incorporated into the game, she's at the beginning, towards the beginning, and then she's at the end. The next release game is Halo 4. The next full release is Halo 4.
And she's in that?
And she's heavily... at the beginning... and she's throughout, but she's like so essentially on a release schedule standpoint, it's like you kind of end with a Halsey thing, and then Halsey's kind of at the beginning of that one. So that's interesting, and we'll get there eventually. Anything else to add, Krista?
All in all, even though this lore-wise and story-wise, this probably isn't the best place for a Halo fan to start, it is a good introduction to like gameplay mechanics, like kind of what guns are what, who the elites are, who the grunts are, who the brutes are. It is a good game in that respect because you get all of the different aliens and all of the different weapons all at once. So you get to try out everything, and then when you go through the rest of the series, it's easily recognizable of what everything's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's a good point. And then there's again, because the development cycle, this is a prequel essentially. Like, we fight against brutes here, and then we're not going to see them for a little bit. So it would beg questions and maybe get someone into some internet holes, rabbit holes, and start to kind of get into the lore. Who knows?
Well, no, honestly, like packaging Halsey's journal with the different editions of Halo Reach, I do think that's kind of a big catalyst for people to go into the extended lore and look at everything and say, wait, there's a book about this game as well. That's interesting. So I do think that Halo Reach does well in kind of encouraging people to look deeper into the Halo series and read the books and look at more stuff, because not everything is as it seems in the games. There's a lot more going on.
Yeah, now that I think of it, so I got into Halo 2012, like right around the release of Halo 4, and then I decided, okay, I'm just going to do it. You know, I'm just going to buy the games. And I ended up getting, just by chance, the, what'd you call it, the Legendary Edition of Reach or whatever it is? The one with Halsey's journal?
I think it's the Limited. The Legendary had the big statue.
Oh, okay. So it must have been the Limited. But so they had that at GameStop, and you know, I didn't really know of the extended lore that much, but it had the journal in there, and I remember like saving that for like when I had some time to like sit there and read the whole thing, and that was a big hook for me to get into this whole thing. So I agree. They did the franchise service by including that, and it's really well written. So definitely go find that if you can.
And also, it's featured in other Halo places. You might see Halsey's journal pop up from time to time in other cutscenes.
That's right.
Yeah, when I saw that cutscene, I'm like, I have that! That's a thing that I own!
Yeah, and they actually designed it.
Yeah, so cool.
All right. So enough spoilers. I think we did a pretty good job, you know, kind of setting things up. You know, if you haven't played these games, you probably have some questions. If you have, hopefully we've covered off on kind of the high moments of the series, or of this game, you know, throughout this series. And then we're excited to move on to Halo Combat Evolved.
Season 2, everybody!
Yeah,
We'll be playing Anniversary. I think I have a copy of the original, but we'll be playing Anniversary, so we'll get those high res.
I have so many copies.
Graphics. Do you really? How many?
I have 2 copies of the original.
I have 2 copies of CE.
I have 3 not including Master Chief Collection. I have 3 copies of Halo 2, and one copy of the like map pack on the disc.
Right.
Back in the old days
too,
when map packs came on discs.
Oh, that's right. So if you're going to keep playing, buy the Master Chief Collection,
that's the best way to do it.
It's not on Game Pass yet. It probably will be eventually, but pick that up, and it's a reasonable.
It's like $20 now.
And then you'll be good for the next little while. We'll be in good shape. You'll be able to play along, so it'll be fun. All right, that'll do it. As we mentioned, the next episode is Halo Combat Evolved. We're excited. Send us your thoughts. So we'll be talking about the first mission soon. So if you have some thoughts you just need to get out about Combat Evolved, send us your thoughts at podcastevolved@gmail.com or drop us a tweet at podcastevolved. Until next time, evolved.
Evolved.
Yay!
Hooray!
Season 1 complete.
We did it.